Welcome to the Faith and Feelings podcast. My name is Taylor Joy, and I'm passionate about helping you untangle and honor your emotions, authentically practice your faith, and integrate both into your everyday life so that you can experience the goodness and delight that comes from living in relationship with yourself, God, and others. Thank you for joining me. Let's get started. As we arrive at the final week of our Advent series, I hope you've enjoyed these reflections and that they've been meaningful for you as we've journeyed through Christmas together. I've loved sharing this series, and I'm already looking ahead to what's next. I've been working on a new series that will begin next week, our first series of 2026, and I hope you'll join me for it. Today, we enter the Christmas story through Anna, a widow who has known profound loss and vulnerability, yet devoted herself fully to God through prayer, fasting, and worship. Her steadfast devotion shaped her eyesight to recognize him when he appeared, Jesus, the child in the temple. Anna's story reminds us that when we devote ourselves to God, our hearts become attuned to his presence in our own lives, in others, and in the world around us. We'll read Luke 2:36-38, and then I'll share our last devotion from Bette Dickinson's book, Making Room in Advent. Today's devotion is called Making Room for Worship. Luke 2:36-38. There was also a prophet, Anna, the daughter of Penuel, of the tribe of Asher. She was very old. She had lived with her husband 7 years after her marriage, and then was a widow until she was 84. She never left the temple, but worshipped night and day, fasting and praying. Coming up to them at that very moment, she gave thanks to God and spoke about the child to all who were looking forward to the redemption of Jerusalem. How different Anna's life had become than what she thought it would be. Having lost her husband at an early age, she not only lost companionship, but also the prospect of children and all societal protection. But what did Anna do with all her great losses in life? She turned them to God as an offering. Her tears fell upon his love. He received her, and his dwelling place became her soul's true home. Anna's life reflected Psalm 27:4. One thing I ask from the Lord, this only do I seek, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to gaze on the beauty of the Lord and to seek him in his temple. On the days she didn't feel like praying, she never left the temple. On the days she didn't want to get out of bed because of grief, she never left. On the days old age weakened her frame, she never left. For years, she never left. She worshipped day and night, fasting and praying. She interceded for her people. She devoted herself to her one true companion, the Lord himself, and she offered her vulnerable heart to God. She dined upon his love in solitude. She used the time that she would have spent lavishing love on her family to lavish love on him instead. All of her energy, time, and fidelity. And after decades of offering herself back to God, here she stumbles upon him in the flesh. The years of fasting and prayer have clarified her spiritual vision. So when she sees him there across the temple courts, she recognizes the one her heart loves, and she goes to him. Here he is, her vast God, large enough to hold all of her tears, now small enough to bless with her hands. She could wrap his infant fingers around her own and behold his entire body in her arms. Upon seeing this, Anna rises into the fullness of herself. She prophesies about Jesus to all who are looking forward to the redemption of Jerusalem, and she can speak adequately about Jesus as Redeemer. Why? Because he has been hers. Widowed women were some of the most vulnerable in that culture, If a woman lost her husband without a male heir or kinsman redeemer who was willing and able to marry her and purchase back her property, she likely became homeless. But Anna lived the prophecy in Isaiah 54, 4-5. Remember no more the reproach of your widowhood, for your Maker is your husband. The Lord Almighty is his name. The Holy One of Israel is your Redeemer. The Lord had become Anna's kinsman redeemer. Her Maker became her husband. He had redeemed her story into one of hope. He had turned her weeping into worship. This homeless widow had found her home in his love. And so she can proclaim to every longing heart, to an entire nation awaiting rescue, to the entire world longing for hope, here he is, your soul's true home, your rescuer, your deliverer, your kinsman redeemer. He has come in the flesh. Anna sees that Jesus came as a kinsman redeemer for all of us. He came to purchase us back with his precious blood. He came to be our husband, and we his bride. And she wants everyone to know. When we fix our eyes upon him in the innermost place of solitude, devoting ourselves to him in worship, fasting, and prayer, we see Jesus as he is. We learn the patterns of his face and the sound of his voice. We learn the desires of his heart and attend to the dreams he has for the world. So when he shows up in our stories, we will recognize him. When he shows up on a stranger's face in the grocery store, in the laughter of a toddler, in the fading whisper of a dying man, or in the eyes of a helpless babe. And we can speak about him like Anna did. We will tell them that he looks like hope. He is clothed in righteousness, and he brings redemption wherever he goes. As we end, here is a question to ponder. How can spending time with God in worship, prayer, and fasting enable you to see him more clearly in your life? Let's end with a breath prayer. Inhale, you are my Redeemer. And exhale, I will worship you. I'm so grateful that you listened to today's episode. Thank you for spending time with me. I'd love to hear from you. Connect with me on Instagram at TaylorJoy or through my website, taylorjoymurray.co. Also, if you enjoyed this conversation, it would mean so much to me if you took a minute to subscribe and review the podcast. This is an easy way to partner with me and is invaluable in reaching new listeners. Until next week.